Rick,
JB.
how are you doing? Nice to see you.
Thank you, good, thank you.
And welcome to the first edition of JB Meets DB.
I've been substituted.
Now this is where I get my own back.
You do, don't you?
So it's my turn to ask the questions and it's your turn to give the answers.
Fair enough.
And I think it's just to give a chance to the viewers to get to know you a little bit better as well.
Okay.
So let's start. Where will we start? Well, let's start from the beginning. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background in sales.
Yeah, sure, JB. When I left university, my first job was with an insurance company, Commercial Union, which some of you may remember from years gone by, now been swallowed up part of the Aviva group. I then went on to work for a company called Zurich Life, where I was the branch manager. And this was an IFA sales, JB, so I've encountered a number of IFAs throughout the whole of Scotland and other regions. I then went to work more on the wholesale side through F&C and Fidelity and JP Morgan, and latterly finishing off with the Swiss private bank Zeitz. And I've been very fortunate throughout my career to have worked in a number of different areas and different channels, so covering IFAs, discretionary managers, offshore clients, banks, fund selectors like yourself. And I've been very fortunate to go in different territories as well throughout Europe and Scandinavia, Malta and Cyprus, UK and Ireland, and some nice exotic locations.
Very nice. Now, you're not just a sales guy, and I don't mean to say that in a patronising way. I mean, you and I have gotten to know each other better. And if you could just explain to the viewers your passion, your interest in neuroscience, and how that led you to Power to Mind.
Sure. I've been fascinated in this for a number of years, JB. Been fascinated particularly with neuro-linguistic programming, how the brain actually works. And in fact, I found a book I thought I'd lost recently, JB, up in the attic. And when I opened it up, it had a boarding pass in it when I'd half read the book, going back to the 90s, when I was flying down with Zurich from Edinburgh down to Southampton. And the reason I'm fascinated with this is that most of what we do, most of what controls us is on an unconscious level. And yet we focus so much on conscious reasoning. But most of the decisions we make are done with an emotional bias. So people that buy with emotion and justify with logic, irrespective of how logical they actually think they are. And I see common mistakes being made in presentations and pitches. And it's my passion to help people present in a more coherent and persuasive way so that the buyer gets more of what they're looking from the meeting, which is the information communicated in a manner they can understand, and the salesperson presents and delivers their offering in a more persuasive and understandable way for the buyer.
And you and I have talked about some of the sins of pitching and storytelling and in presentation. If you could summarise to the viewers, what do you think are the key mistakes that are still being made?
Yeah, I mean, the key mistakes I see are the lack of use of stories, JB, and this constant. There was a word that came across I heard way back in my early career called product vomit, where people are just talking about facts the whole time and not bringing those to life. So I liken it to, if you've ever decided you want to go out on a date with somebody, do you ever go along and give them 10 reasons why you should go out on a date with you on Saturday night?
Well, I've been married for 20 years, so I'm not sure I can comment on that, Derek.
I think I found your list. And yet we continue to focus on giving lists out or giving facts without actually addressing the real part of how we operate, which is on an emotional level through the limbic part of the brain. And this is the part I see being missed out. I also see, I don't know whether it's deliberate or not, but I've seen many confusing pitches which seems to go against the way we actually think. We shouldn't be confusing clients, we should be making it simple. And if your gran can't understand the basic concepts about where you're coming from, then I think the pitch and presentation needs to be addressed. And also there can be a lack of enthusiasm and preparation for the meeting, and an awareness that the person you're speaking to, they're not awkward or difficult. They just have their own model of the world, which you must understand first for you to be able to deliver your ideas effectively to them.
So I'm a fund manager. How can you help me? How can Power to Mind help me, Derek?
Yeah, I think the key thing is to
identify... How can it help the baby?
I'm not sure I can help the baby, JB. I can certainly try. The main thing is to identify what are the actual needs to observe someone. What are the skills? Not everybody has the same needs and developments, JB, but some people are missing out on what I would call an external awareness, an awareness of the environment, an awareness of how the client is actually reacting, the fund buyer is reacting through body language, and just being aware of whether they're interested or not interested. You also need to get a level of enthusiasm, a passion about what you're doing. You need to get a story behind what you're delivering, and you need to simplify it. It's not about 60 slides, and it's certainly not about intellectual chess. The idea is to convey your message in the most efficient way, and if you can do that quickly, so much the better. It doesn't mean because you've travelled a long way, you stay in the meeting for 2 hours. If the buyer engages and has the questions, you need to have the answers. So it's all about preparation and delivery, and I would argue that the pitch begins, JB, way before you actually get in the room. If you're not in the right mental state, you're not going to be pitching and presenting at your optimum. And I think a fund buyer like yourself definitely deserves to have the best possible experience.
Great stuff, Derek. Now, if you want to get in touch with Derek, you want to get in touch with Power to Mind, then we have details down here. Also, hit the like button, share it, and get in touch. And we look forward to talking more about Power to Mind.
Thank you very much, and I look forward to getting to my side of the chair as well.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for watching.